back to Barricade Rides. We are at Emerald City Harley in Lynnwood, Washington with none other than David. He's gonna show us this beautiful lowrider S. They put new bars on this thing and this bike is absolutely wicked.
Hey everybody, David with Emerald City Harley Davidson. I want to thank Barricade. He's been an awesome partner for us. He's a huge fan of our store. We love having him come in, and he does a lot to help us really kind of learn our bikes and get the word out about what we're doing. So appreciate you, man. I'm going to go over the 2021 Lowrider S. If you want a Harley Davidson Softail that is just mean and dirty, and it's got that real custom look to it, real sport inspired design and styling, you really can't do any better than this bike. It's an amazing machine. I have a very good customer that bought one from us this last summer, and it has been so much fun watching him do saddles and pegs and highway bars and performance upgrades and LED lights, and the list goes on. He's constantly in here making his bike everything he wants it to be. But man, this as a blank canvas is a heck of a way to start. So I'm gonna go over a few of the features of this bike. First of all, it's got a 5-gallon tank, so you've got great range. It has this gauge cluster up top, analog, with the digital display. So that digital display gives you, it's gonna give you your total miles, your trip A, it's got a clock, it's got your range, your trip B, all of that stuff you can go through, you know, on the fly as you're riding the bike. It's a nice clean display. There's your range, the clock is not set. And of course, on some of the models you have the RPM here, but you don't need that because you got the RPM gauge right here. This is very retro, kind of a throwback to some of the earlier models of the Dynas and some of those kinds of bikes. So great range, great instrumentation. This bike comes with a 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8. If you've watched our other videos, the Milwaukee 8 is just a really, really great engine. The big things: 4 valves per cylinder versus 2 spark plugs per cylinder. You've also got a single cam. They went back to a single cam. They're getting just more torque and more power and a more comfortable riding temperature out of this engine than any engine previously. So wonderful design. It's a great motor. It has this awesome 2-into-2 exhaust here, right? It's got kind of this fluting or these cutouts that kind of show the bronze underneath. That ties in with the bronze detailing on the tank. And then check out these wheels. These wheels are called Radiate wheels. They're cast aluminum. They're made in a bronze color. Got a real aggressive styling to them. They're wrapped in Michelin Scorcher 2 tires, 19-inch on the front, 16-inch on the rear. This bike also has twin floating rotor disc brakes up front, single in the rear, also floating rotor. Now the floating rotor, the big deal with that is that these things are designed as they heat up as you're braking and they flex a little bit. It's designed to flex and maintain better contact with your pads, which means better braking and better brake longevity. So you're spending more time riding and less time fixing your brakes. This bike also comes standard with ABS. So you've got that really great ability to stop. And with the power on this bike and it's kind of some of the stuff you can do with this bike, it's nice to know that you can also stop. So it's well designed. Inverted front forks, so very sport inspired. All of the street bikes, you know, the Gixxers and those types of bikes out there have the inverted front forks. What that does is it allows the wheel to move up into the forks rather than the bike moving into the wheel, right? So you just get more responsiveness. Great suspension, adjustable rear suspension. You can adjust that under your seat with a wrench. This is also a 6-speed transmission. It has forward controls. Excuse me. So when you're sitting on this bike, you got your feet kind of more out in front of you, not quite so much underneath you, a little more stretched out. My buddy that bought his bike, he put some bars out here. He can just stick his leg here when he's cruising. Super versatile. But man, this bike is just awesome to get on the highway and cut up some curvy roads. Now, we added some unique bars. This is Forbidden Motorsports makes this 8-inch riser. and that couples with the Fly Racing drag bars that you see here. So you still have the drag look, but you got a little more rise, kind of puts you in a little bit more upright position, a little more comfortable for distances. And then they topped it off with these really unique and really cool, anybody that's ever had a pair of Vans that you've worn, you recognize this tread. These grips are actually made by Vans. You can see it right here. Super unique grips, and they're actually really comfortable. They're soft, but they really stick to your hands and cuts down on that cramping for distances. So awesome bike. The thing about this bike also, to go along with the Performance Inspire, you got the LED headlight up front. It's the LED Daymaker, so super bright. Gives you great visibility, both your ability to see, but also your ability to be seen. And it also has this halo, so if you leave your bike parked, you can kind of do something cool. You can hit this button, let me wait for it to go off here. You hit this button for 2 seconds, and your halo comes on. Now, that doesn't really use any electricity because it's LED, but it sure makes it easy to find your bike in a crowd, right? Plus, it looks kind of cool. It's like it's kind of lurking, you know, out on the street waiting for you. So, kind of a cool deal. And then the tail light is also an LED with a smoked lens, so kind of a custom look to it. But also, when you hit the brakes on this bike, you really know this thing's stopping. Super bright, right? And again, visibility on a bike is so important. Now, my buddy also converted these into running and stop and brake lights, turn signals, but the way this is out of the factory, you've got the light for your license plate here, all LED. You'll never have to replace this light. You don't have to replace bulbs. All you gotta do is ride. So it's got also this heavy breather intake here, so it's already kind of a high flow intake. If you want to throw some slip-ons on, if you want to do a tune, the options on this bike are limitless. I just think it is such a tough looking bike. I love the way the logo and the wheels and some of this detailing kind of ties together. The idea with this bike, you know, of course, we've had the lowrider for, you know, several decades. They used to be a dyno. And when Harley discontinued the dyno platform after 2017, they said, you know what, let's keep a few of these bikes and put them onto the Softail frame. It rides better, it's more comfortable, it's a lighter weight frame, it's a more rigid frame, so you get better performance, but it's still got that kind of that dyno bro look, right? It's just a really tough, super popular club bike, super popular for those that want something that's going to be able to take them for some trips, but also get out and really enjoy cutting up some mountain roads. So awesome bike, and man, we'd love to show it to you. This is just an awesome bike, and this one's really unique with these bars, so come by and check it out.